so hitting the scene. Shit tales of Oz and foreigner dreams. Tales are crazy wild as the wind. Laughs and madness could make you spin. Big towns rolling Florida's king. The podcast chaos, it's a wild thing. Tuning folks for a hell of a ride. Crazy stories far and wide. From down under to the Sunshine State, mishaps and mayhem can't escape fate. Shuvalo and Croc Dundee, a wild ride on podcast sea. Shit towns rolling Florida's king. Podcast chaos, it's a wild thing. Tuning folks for a hell of a ride. Crazy stories far and wide. From down under to the Sunshine State, mishaps and mayhem can't escape fate. Shuvalo and Croc Dundee, a wild ride on podcast sea. Shit towns rolling Florida's king. Podcast chaos, it's a wild thing. Tuning folks for a hell of a ride. Crazy stories far and wide.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Shittown Florida Band Power Ranking Podcast. I am NCR News Network, joined as always by my friend and co-host, Anthony Caruso.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. Looking forward to another episode here today. And, NCR, there's a bit of a theme as we preview what we're going to be covering here in tonight's episode. Looks like Australians have gotten a little bit filthy this week.
Oh, I wouldn't put it past Florida Man for giving them no run for their money. But
I wouldn't doubt that indeed, especially given what you've been getting up to during the week, I should add as well.
hey, you can't prove that was me or it was me throwing those alligators.
Or you pestering First Amendment auditors, for that matter, from Florida, who may or may not have been to Florida.
I was trying to be nice. I was
I
being
know.
behaved.
I know. It's not our fault that he doesn't know how to handle his alligators, and who knows, there might be a business coming up for that very soon.
Speaking of businesses, we actually do have a recurring sponsor. Let's take a look at their ad.
Allow your imagination to run wilder than Hulkamania down at Becca's House of Secrets. With a wide range of books, games and accessories, Becca and her team will help you immerse yourself into whatever fantasy you may have. Mention the promo code HUN at checkout for 10% off. Check out their great range of products and make sure they see you next Tuesday at Becca's House of Secrets, where your fantasy is our secret.
A very fitting sponsor for the episode that we have here tonight, isn't it?
Oh, yes. I believe you do have a honorable mention before we get started.
Yes, I do. Not so much a shit towns of Australia, but a rare occurrence, a shit town of New Zealand. And our honourable mention is Auckland in New Zealand, where a man who went going for a jog along the edge of a golf course in Clark Beach came to the 15th hole, jogging along, and noticed a couple attempting to play the 69th hole.
Oh, my.
Indeed. There was a couple of very good shots played for the hole.
Well, let's hope they don't get caught in the sand trap.
Indeed. That might get a little bit annoying, and hopefully the grass isn't too wet either.
Hey, the wetter the better.
Well, we'll see. Any from your side before we get started?
No, we have, well, actually, yes. Florida has made it official. They are getting rid of fluoride in the city of Winter Haven, considered the second capital of Polk County. The city council board has voted to remove all fluoride starting in the month of November.
Are they worried about people putting chemicals in the water that turn the freaking frogs gay?
No, this comes over the recent things with RFK Jr. Oh, sorry about that. But no, after RFK Jr.'s recent announcement that he will be taking over as the Director of Health and Human Services, he is vowing to remove fluoride from all water in the country. Florida decided to jump ahead and say, fuck it, hold my beer, we're going first.
Oh, that's special. That is very, very special. Well, you know who's going to win it out of that in Florida? Dentists.
Oh, yes.
So if you want to make some quick money, become a dentist. And especially if you happen to be a guy named Josh who's on the run from some active warrants.
I mean, he could open up a new satellite location. There's a lot of dumpsters back there. I mean...
Oh, yeah. Very good. I have the ceremonial coin.
I'm going to call heads this week.
Heads is the call. And it is a head.
Let's start off with a bit of an odd one. A Florida man is a 2-time shark attack survivor at the same fucking beach.
Seriously.
100% seriously. Cole Taskin,
carry on.
a man who's become a local legend, has experienced his second shark attack at the exact same beach. His first occurrence was when he was 16, where he was bitten by a shark determined to be a tiger shark. Now, this past week, he goes to the same beach at the age of 28 and is bitten by another fucking shark. The
Just doesn't learn his lesson, does he?
No, he hasn't. You know, it seems to me, after this first time, he decided to say,
I'll fucking do it again.
Yeah, that'll be right. That'll be right.
This last shark attack gave him deep lacerations to his calf, leaving him with no long-term permanent damage and a vow to go back to the beach.
Well played, sir. Well played. In 10th place for the shit towns of Australia, it is the location, the myth, the legend, Port Pirie, South Australia. Still shit. And we'll move on to number 9.
Number 9. The Holy Ghost. A Florida man pastor has a dark past exposed as a sex offender accused of taking money from families. That's right.
Yeah. Speechless.
Well, a local Jacksonville pastor has a dark secret as a sex offender where he was taking money not only from families but other churches.
Jesus
This Florida man pastor was advertising his abilities as a party planner on, of all websites, Facebook. He, according to news reports, he had scammed a woman out of a total of $1,200, saying that he could help provide her with the ultimate surprise party for a family member, promising her a DJ, decorations, catered food, and just ran off with the money. But not only that, according to Action News Jacksonville, they investigated the said pastor in question and found out that he has a notorious and nefarious past dating back to the early 90s. This pastor had scammed a local church needing a new home to call their own after the pastor of the Wise Choices ministry survived a car accident, scanned amount of $2,000 when when Pastor Wisely and the news investigated. They found out that this defrocked pastor was a known sex offender in several states. States including Texas, Nebraska, Ohio, and of course, Florida. Pastor Wisely did take
part
the
of
small
me
claims court and was awarded a.
what happened in small claims
He
court?
was awarded a. He was awarded a $2,000 judgment, but our rogue pastor has not paid him.
I mean, here's my question to you. Does he deserve the golden turd for the week already? Or does he actually deserve the MVP for it lasting as long as he has like this?
He's a nominee for the golden turd because his sex offender registry in several states puts him right up there at the top.
Yeah, that's fair.
Don't forget,
that's fair.
Don't forget, the winners of the Golden Turn win a free tour of Woody's Woodchipper Emporium.
Just don't mind the red paint. We'll now move on to number 9
for you.
Yes, indeed. Number 9, we are heading off to Bathurst in New South Wales. No, this is not a story involving motor racing in Bathurst as much as I would love it to be. But instead, a Gronk has been caught stealing a vibrator from a sex shop. Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Did you say a Gronk stole a vibrator from a sex shop?
Yep.
Oh my.
Indeed. Hayden Stevens, a Bathurst local, has pled guilty to vibrator theft. And you want to know the reason he's given for stealing the vibrator?
I have to hear this.
It's been a tough year.
That boy ain't right.
It's been a tough year, so I need to go and steal a vibrator and pleasure myself.
You know, I've told many of people to go fuck themselves, but that's taking it to a whole new level.
I know. I mean, it's... Actually, no, I don't want that image. No. My only hope is that the vibrator never actually made it out of its package. Or at least not into somebody else's.
Well, I hope it would be out of the package. I mean, you don't want to get any sharp cuts from those corners.
Ooh. Ouch. Let's go to number 8.
Okay, for number 8, we have a trip to your favorite place in all of Florida.
Polk County.
Yes, we are going to Polk County.
Hi-yo.
And we do have a quote from Grady Jud in this one. A Florida man should have hit his cocaine better before reporting a break-in and a battery, according to Grady Jud. In the city of Frostproof, Florida, a Florida man and a teenager were arrested following burglary and battery allegations. According to the Polk County Sheriff Grady Jud, a group of juveniles have been arrested for aggravated harassment of a 54-year-old Everett Brown. The 14-year-old kicked in Brown's door, hit him with a red broom handle, and began to burglarize him. Quoted from Grady Jud, that's called battery and burglary, and it's felonies. Brown called the Polk County Sheriff's Office to investigate, And when the sheriff's deputies arrived, they began to search the property and found large amounts of cocaine and cocaine paraphernalia in plain view in the house. Everett forgot to hide his cocaine before the investigators showed up and was arrested for that. The 14-year-old was captured and confessed of breaking into Brown's house, hitting him with the broom, and is currently not roaming the streets anytime soon, as he is currently locked up without bond.
And missing a block of cocaine.
There's only, remember, folks, according to our favorite guidance counselor,
drugs are bad. You shouldn't do drugs. If you do them, you're bad. Because drugs are bad, okay? It's a bad thing to do.
Okay.
okay.
Okay. Moving on. Moving on to number 8. We head off to Launceston in Tasmania. I can't believe I'm about to say this. A woman has been caught stealing a vibrator from a sex shop.
What the hell?
Yep.
Well, there's only one thing we need to do here.
I'm Troy McClure, and I'll leave you with what we all came here to see. Hardcore nudity!
I was about to get down with that, actually. Oh, yep. Ladies and gentlemen, this time it is a woman down in Tasmania, and more specifically, Mowbray, outside of Launceston. Trisha Louise Wickham has pled guilty to stealing a $129 vibrator and groceries, but has contested stealing a $399 party box. Now, that's like one of those JBL Bluetooth party boxes there. But yeah, that is a lot of that's a lot of theft.
So she's admitting that she stole the groceries.
Yep.
She stole the vibrator.
Yep.
But not the party box.
Not the party box.
I mean, why would you need to steal a vibrator?
Oh, it gets better. She's also pled guilty to being in possession of cannabis.
Why am I not surprised?
Nothing to be surprised about here at all. But, yep. Boy.
Are you ready for this one?
Number 7 it is.
Angry ex shows up to Florida woman's lunch date after using GPS tracker, according to the police.
What the hell?
And this story is coming to us from the Miami Herald. But an angry, jilted ex, a 36-year-old, has been arrested after showing up to a restaurant and charged with installing a tracking device, stalking, cyber stalking, and other violations, according to the news report. But his ex was on a lovely lunch date trying to find love at a Cocoa Beach restaurant where her angry ex showed up, according to the police reports. The woman flagged down police, saying that her ex has been following her for several months, and that night approached her at the restaurant while she was having dinner. The suspect alleges he was confronting the couple at the restaurant for reasons. He promptly left them, not without the cops actually finding the tracking device on her car, sending her anonymous text that she would not be getting away from him. He would always find her. He made multiple traffic violations and is currently in jail.
You see, I've got a bit of a problem with this, and this is something that people need to be aware of. It's becoming more and more prevalent now that people are actually using tracking devices, especially like those Apple AirTags, for example, to track down people that they intend on stalking. And I've got a real problem with these products in general.
I mean, the air trackers are fine for, you got some luggage, you want to put them in there when you're going on a trip, or, you got some expensive electronics that you take with you at all times, so you don't want to lose them. But now they're just becoming more nefarious used. And
Yeah.
that's just fucked up, man.
It's problematic to say the very least.
But you want to hear the funniest thing about this?
Let's hear it.
One of the charges they gave him was not having a state-issued driver's license while being a resident in the state. Like, you listed stalking, cyber stalking, harassment, illegal surveillance. But the big one, not having a state-issued ID.
Oh, stop the presses. Stop the presses. Moving on to number 7, and we're going to remain in Tasmania for the shit towns of Australia, but we're going to shift towns over to Devonport. And I can safely say now that this is the first story that doesn't involve someone stealing from a sex shop.
I'm still hesitant.
Instead, a Gronk has received home detention for threatening to hit a man with a hammer in the dick.
You fucking weirdo.
Daniel Tasman Mark has been sentenced for a violent assault incident involving threatening someone with a hammer. And keeping in mind, the guy had already been punched in the head, and he was then threatening, if he had to continue, he had a hammer in his hand, and he was going to hit him with it in the dick.
Why?
Reasons. Absolute reasons. He has been sentenced to home detention with an ankle monitor to boot. 2 years home detention.
Well, I think we need to lighten things up here for a minute with my number 6 for Florida man. A Florida man refuses to remove several giant banners Trump for president after receiving $63,000 in fines.
Rightio.
Okay. So, a Seagrove Beach man has adorned his condo with several large banners for Trump for president. One of the banners reading, Trump come home 2025. The man has received several notices to remove the banners from his home. And, well, I actually have pictures of these banners because, of course, we do. But, Anthony, one of them is definitely going to make you laugh. You'll see, you'll know which one when you see it.
I'm looking forward to this. What do we got?
Let's make this full screen. Trump come home 2025. Bulletproof. And of course, who's your daddy?
Wow.
These aren't small banners. I mean, come on, think about it.
That picture there of Trump, the Trump coming home in 2025, does he just look like he's just trying to awkwardly milk two cows?
Looks like he's trying to milk something.
Yeah. Oh, that could go in many dangerous places.
But the man has received several notices to remove the banners. According to code enforcement, he has received $50 a day fines for the last 42 months. He's arguing he's going to fight the fines under the First Amendment.
Oh, that's going to get interesting.
Oh, yes.
That's going to get very interesting. Number 6 for the shit towns of Australia, and we head off to Maroochydore in Queensland. A 12-year-old allegedly steals and crashes his mum's car. Unfortunately, this is not only behind a paywall, but they've also had to suppress names because obviously it involves a 12-year-old. But a 12-year-old boy has faced court after police allege he stole and crashed his mother's car in a dangerous joyride on the Sunshine Coast on the weekend, with witnesses saying he nearly killed children playing in the park. So this kid stole the car, went on a joyride, ended up mounting the curb, driving into a park, and nearly ran over a number of children playing in a playground.
He reminds me of a very special young man who stole his grandmother's truck because he wanted to do hood rat shit with his friends because it's fun to do hood rat things.
Yeah, I'm sure. Oh, I'm sure it's totally fun to do that. Police are very thankful that no injuries came to any of the children. Otherwise, there would have been quite a few things more being slapped on in terms of charges. But yeah, Queensland's youth crime problems just continue on, don't they?
They do.
Number 5.
Number 5. We're going back to Polk County.
Hey-yo.
But not any part of Polk County, but we're going to a very special part. Would you like to guess where?
Oh. I can't guess, but I'm looking forward to this.
My old stomping grounds, the city of Lakeland, Florida. A man is unalived after trying to climb and move a dump truck.
What?
A Florida man has unalived after trying to climb on top of a dump truck while it was moving. The incident took place on Reynolds Road on Highway 92 in East Lakeland, an area I used to live in and I know very well. The 56-year-old Florida man, whose identity is being withheld for reasons because they don't want to alarm the family, had made an attempt to steal a moving dump truck after witnesses had called in to dispatchers reporting that a man was running across busy highways, flagging his arms to climb upon a dump truck, where the driver immediately stopped and, well, fatally ending his short existence as a Florida man. The Polk County Sheriff's traffic homicide detectives are investigating the incident, but it doesn't look like the driver will be facing any charges.
Given what the circumstances of this, is this in the running for a Darwin Award?
Oh, yes, because according to the reports, he tried to climb and set up as on the passenger side before trying to climb into the dump truck itself, ended up falling and getting run over.
Well, I only hope the powers that be, the Darwin Awards, were paying close attention to this one, because I think it's going to be up there.
Oh, it's up there.
Oh, boy. Number 5 for the shit towns of Australia. We're going to stay in Queensland. NCR. I'm going to need a little bit of help from this because it is your favorite city.
Do you mean
City of Townsville is under attack.
Yes, it is. We are off to the city of Townsville. Grunt climbs on moving truck in failed attempt to flee cops. But our main story, a woman has been busted trying to pass drugs to a defendant in court in exchange for an orgasm from her boyfriend.
What?
Katie Rose Owens has been sentenced after telling her boyfriend, who was behind bars, that he owed her an orgasm for her attempt at supplying drugs to other prisoners. So she was basically running drugs into the jail so that her boyfriend could give them out to other people there. And in return, she told her boyfriend he owed her an orgasm.
So in other words, if she's going, she's also coming too.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet it was meth.
It was cocaine.
Mm.
Because, of course, it's cocaine.
So it was a Coke Coochie.
Oh, very much Coke Coochie. Moving on to number 4.
Number 4, we have another Florida man, police impersonator at his finest.
Oh, what? We got a Jeremy DeWitt wannabe?
Yes, we do.
Hot damn.
A Florida man was charged for impersonating a police officer in front of the real cops.
Oh, that's
A
special.
Florida man has dressed up his Dodge Charger to look like a real cop car with aftermarket parts and decided to flash his red and blues in front of the actual cops. The Florida man flashed red and blue lights off his Dodge Charger after attempting to make several traffic stops to only use it to evade the traffic lights, but he does this in front of the actual cops. People have been reporting in this unmarked Dodge Charger in the Hernando County area where they found him in front of pulling these shenanigans in front of the actual police. He is currently behind bars right now and is being held on a $6,000 bond. He has been charged with the following: traffic violations, probation violation, the prohibited use of lights, and false impersonation. And here's the kicker. The police towed the Charger, which belonged to his girlfriend.
Oh, great. So not only does he get caught impersonating a police officer, but then he tries to throw his girlfriend under the bus.
Yes. And, ladies, this charming man is available. And, well, look at that handsome face. Look at it.
That's not a kind of face you want to see throwing people under the bus now, do you?
No, it's not. You're number 4, Anthony.
Oh, missing out on the medals. We head off to Perth, where a hoon has been charged after doing a burnout with a baby in his car. A Shoalwater man charged over alleged burnout stunt at Oakford site, where a person was actually killed a day earlier. He was paying tribute to a friend who had died in a car crash in Perth's southwest. The 22-year-old Shoalwater man has never held a license before
and had his 11-month-old son in the car when he did a burnout on Thomas Road in Oakford on Sunday afternoon. The plume of smoke caused other motorists to hold their vehicles, and at the time of the incident, numerous bystanders were in the vicinity. Police, who alleged the teen boy and a woman in her 20s were also in the car, described the incident as beyond disappointing and idiotic. The accused had joined friends to lay flowers for 22-year-old J.D. Turner. Turner was killed on the same road where a Holden Commodore he was driving clipped an oversized vehicle convoy and crashed headfirst into a rear pilot vehicle early on Saturday. In relation to Sunday's alleged hooning, police have seized a Holden Statesman as part of their investigation and charged the 22-year-old with reckless driving, no authority to drive, and I imagine he's going to then also be charged with endangering the life of others. Stay classy. And what's worse about this as well is, when you look at the location where this occurred, it was pretty much a situation that could have easily been avoided had a little bit of patience, not only from the original driver who crashed out there occurred, but then when you look at the Holden Statesman that was in driving in, that car there, for those who don't know, is at least 20 years old, possibly even 25 years old. This was a luxury car for Holden that was being used in the mid to late 1990s. So a 22-year-old hooning around with this, doing burnouts with no license, and the baby in the backseat of the car. I mean, you just wonder what causes some people to really be so stupid that they would actually do something like this throughout the entire ordeal. So, man, I don't know what else can be done with some of these people, honestly. And ladies and gentlemen, while we wait for our NCR to make his return, we'll just get a quick reminder then as well that you'll be able to catch these episodes every week. And don't forget as well that these links will also be appearing down below. Don't forget to leave your likes and comments. And don't forget to also check out the Shit Towns of Australia Facebook page. Give them a like and then show your appreciation as NCR comes back into the room and we're ready to get into the medal count.
Oh, yes. Sorry about that, folks. Had to take care of a family situation. But are you ready for our bronze medalist?
Let's do it.
A former St. Petersburg council member has been arrested and accused of hiding cameras in a woman's shower.
Ew.
Yes, 64-year-old Jeffrey Ronald Donner has been taken into custody on Friday, November 15th, for one count of digital voyeurism. The woman told investigators at the St. Pete Police Department she noticed there was something unusual going on when she was taking her showers. The person was taking a shower at Mr. Jeffrey's house, where she had noticed that something was odd. It turns out that Mr. Jeffries placed two cameras in the bathroom, one facing the tub and one facing the toilet, in the air conditioner vents. The woman alleges that she did not know anything about this. She was not aware of this. And when Mr. Dover was arrested, he was quoted as saying in one of his text messages how stupid and perverted it was. Police took custody of his phone after finding the cameras. He is currently been booked into the jail and is being held without bond. And he kind of looks familiar. Why does he look like a degenerate Chris Henson?
He looks like he should be in The Witcher.
But yes, you are a stupid Florida man, and you are going to be well loved by the other inmates.
Very much so. Wow.
Also, another nominee for the Wood Chipper Tour.
Indeed, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, for the bronze medal for the Shit Towns of Australia, we head off to Melbourne. Now, we've got 3 stories for this. First off, we've got 6 feral teens who've been fleeing cops at 240 kilometers an hour in a stolen Porsche. I mean, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
A Gronk has tossed $40,000 worth of cocaine from a 16th floor apartment during a police raid. That's a waste of a good lot of cocaine.
Please let Gia know about that.
I will let you know about that. But our main story, a man has been fined after urinating on a police car.
Of course.
Of course they have. A man has been fined after being caught urinating on a police car in Melbourne. Police were on foot patrol in Epping on Monday night when local security staff told them about the ongoing incident in a car park near Cooper Street around 7 p.m. The officers hurried to the location, catching the man in the act, and then realised the car in question was their own vehicle. The 27-year-old Layla man was issued a $790 penalty notice for behaving in a riotous, indecent, offensive, or insulting manner. Yeah. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand that it is legal in some states of Australia to urinate on the front left wheel of your car. The key word is that it's your car.
I'm willing to bet the report said he was tall and about average.
You're a terrible human being. You should feel bad.
I have no shame in my game.
Well, let's move on to the silver medal then, shall we? Before we take that shame even lower.
Oh. A Florida man poses as an undercover FDLE agent to avoid a background check, says police. A Port St. Lucia man was arrested for multiple charges after an interview this past Friday where he claimed and was posing as an undercover FDLE agent to avoid a simple background check for an apartment complex. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement says the investigation began after a local real estate agent contacted them that a 64-year-old William Dennis Milstrom applied as a resident at a rental property. The report said he falsified letters sent to the rental agent and the real estate agent that he had to be off the grid because he was undercover to avoid the background check. A letter was submitted with the address from the suspect. The captain of this alleged underground incident said that due to the risk of exposing this agent, he is exempt from all background checks.
What?
The true reason why it was revealed he didn't want to do this, he had outstanding debt.
Oh dear, oh dear.
He was booked in for the following charges: falsely impersonating a police officer, making false statements, submitting false documents, and violations of Florida's two-way communication devices, which is a felony. So, in other words, wiretapping. He is currently being held without bond.
Creepy, creepy, creepy man.
Well,
Jeez.
what can we say? Jeremy DeWitt is strong in Florida Man this week.
Oh, he has been, hasn't he? It's, just like there's been a lot of sex activities going on in Australia this week, the Jeremy DeWitt influence is strong in Florida this week.
Maybe it's his birthday.
Number 2 for the Shit Sounds of Australia, and we head off to Boggabilla in New South Wales. What a name that town is, Boggabilla.
Sounds like they're trying to say, can Bob build it?
Yeah. Truckies terrorized at servo by bandits armed with hammers and knives. A 61-year-old truck driver has told of how he was attacked while asleep in the cabin of his truck at Shell Boggabilla. I was sleeping and woke up to a bloke hitting me on the shoulder with an iron bar. They're also carrying hammers and knives, recalled Melbourne-based truckie Darren Pacini. There were 3 blokes. One was in my truck, one was standing on the ground next to the driver's door, and the other one was in a white Jeep waiting for them. The incident occurred in the early hours of the morning on Thursday, October 24, and according to several reports, this was just one of several incidents that occurred on the same day. I spoke to another truck driver who was attacked at Shell Boggabilla earlier that night and spoke to another guy in the servo too. He said the same guys went to have a go at him when he was stopped near the Wobbly Boot Hotel about 500 metres down the road from the Shell. But he was driving 2 up, so when they approached, the other driver got out of the truck, so they jumped in their car and got going. Police also told me there were another 2 attacks on truck drivers at the BP in Goondiwindi. Darren says in all his years of on the road, this is the first time anything like this has ever happened to him. Luckily, he wasn't too injured. I mean, this is just brazen. And it looks like it was repeated. It was it's not the only incident that occurred, and they think they all may be linked. There was one at 3 a.m. Officers attached to New England District Police. Again to Boggabilla, it was a 36-year-old man asleep in the truck cabin when he was attacked. The people actually managed to steal his wallet and jewelry, again in a white Jeep Cherokee. At 3:05 a.m., a 59-year-old woman was driving along the Newell Highway when she pulled over and a Jeep Cherokee stopped beside her. The attackers demanded money and threatened her with an object before she drove off. She wasn't injured. At 3:10 is when the 66-year-old man was then reported. And then about 3:45 a.m., a 46-year-old man told police he was within his truck near the petrol station when he was approached by an unknown man driving a white Jeep Cherokee. Yeah, this sounds like a complete and utter crime raid through Boggabilla.
I mean, it's a tough one to beat, but I think I got something.
Let's hear it.
Let's give the people what they came here for.
I'm Troy McClure, and I'll leave you with what we all came here to see. Hardcore nudity!
Our number 1 for Florida Man. A Florida man is accused of attempted burglary while nude in Fort Myers, caught with a white cloth around his head.
Jesus.
According to the Lee County Sheriff's, a man was arrested for attempted burglary while wearing a white cloth and nothing else. Deputies say, let me try to pronounce his name again. Gennaro Rossetti, on Friday, was arrested after attempting to break into somebody's house Thursday night. Witnesses said he was completely nude, for the exception of a white cloth around his head. After sliding the glass on a window of the house, he made his way in. After the alarm began to scream, he fled into an unknown direction. Upon interviewing with law enforcement, the callers said they recognized the man who attempted to enter the house that night before, who was wearing the same headpiece, a black backpack, and blue Crocs.
Right.
Deputies received calls from neighbors about the man, and some surveillance footage was caught on a Ring doorbell system. He was arrested for the following charges: loitering and prowling and indecent exposure. It turns out the white cloth around his face was nothing more than a plain white t-shirt to try to conceal his identity.
Got to protect the identity, you know? Doesn't matter about any other part of his body.
True, but since the Lee County Sheriffs were so kind as to provide us with a mugshot.
Outstanding.
Look at that face. That's the face of an innocent man.
Nah, that's the face of someone who's seen some shit in his life. Look at him. He looks wired, doesn't he?
He does. But it also screams, it's usually not that size. It was cold at night.
Well, it is that time of year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although you wouldn't expect it to be too cold out there.
Yeah, it does get a bit nippy out there.
It can be. Well, the shittest town of Australia for the week ending the 17th of November 2024 is Adelaide, South Australia. First off, a man allegedly carjacked by a woman after stopping to help her. A cyclist robs and assaults an elderly woman, but in probably the most Australian story you will ever hear, a delinquent koala breaks into a couple's house and sleeps in their bed.
What the fuck, man?
This is my MVP. Crashing on the bed after a hard day of work can be one of life's little luxuries, provided there isn't a cuddly trespasser in the way. That was the situation that recently confronted a Roslyn Park couple whose path was blocked by a koala they suspect snuck in through the doggy door. Fran Diaz Rufino and husband Bruno had just returned to their home in Adelaide's East around 12:30 a.m. on Wednesday. They were confronted by the intruder inside their bedroom. Miss Rufino, who is from Brazil, said she was so startled by the sight of the animal clambering onto the bedside drawers that she forgot my English and immediately resorted to her first language, Portuguese. I thought, oh my God, there is a koala in my bedroom. And Bruno was like, lady, what are you doing? Why are you screaming? She told ABC Radio Adelaide. I said, you're lying. I was afraid it was a spider because she is arachnophobic. The incident was captured on video, which shows the pair frantically attempting to shoo the creature outside. Miss Rufino said she did not realize the koala was inside her room until she took her dinner to the bedroom and saw it on her dog's bed. We just arrived home from work and she was there, and we believe he came in inside the house through the dog door. We were afraid that they'd get into a fight, so we put my dog away and asked Bruno to help me. I can confirm it was a koala, not a drop bear.
Well, them drop bears are dangerous, but my question is this a pervy koala? Because, why go into the woman's bedroom?
Well, I've got a photo of said koala.
I want to see this alleged suspect.
Well, you're about to find it right now.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a pervy koala.
That is a very pervy koala. And look at the clothes as well on the bed.
I fancy I try on a bit of the clothes here, mate. I mean, come on. Fancy a shag?
I reckon
that's the STD test.
I reckon that koala was doing some nasty shit there.
I'm willing to bet that koala, oh, come on. got my STD panel back. It came back clean, no chlamydia. How about a little toss of the fur? I'll tell you what. I'll put on my jockeys, and we can see what happens.
Oh, I reckon it could have been up for some kink. I'll tell you what. I could play drop bear if you want. If you want to get kinky.
Maybe the koala finally got his membership to Becca's House of Secrets.
Oh dear God.
I'm going to hell. I know I'm going to hell. Okay.
You are
Driver
going to hell. You are a terrible human being. You are a terrible human being. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's my MVP nomination for the week is the pervy koala from Adelaide.
I am going to second him. He is the MVP of this week.
Oh, he is. Oh dear. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of another podcast. And NCR, I don't know how much more we could take of this, but I believe next week we might have a special guest joining us.
Yes, next week we will be joined by the captain himself of the Nightcap Nation.
Outstanding. And not only that, but we can confirm that we will be having Jim Finch from Really Cool News joining us as well for the podcast in the near future.
That's right. Don't forget, folks, to leave your votes for who you think is a nominee for the Golden Turd. Who do you think should have been the MVP? And how pervy was that koala? Did he help encourage the rash and stolen vibrators this week?
Oh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this has been Anthony Caruso.
I'm NCR News Network. Be well, be safe, and we'll see you guys next time.